boys. 1980 Toyota Corolla. Fired up, bro. Haha. Let's unload this bitch. I'm pretty fired up about this. So, right here, we got a 1980 Toyota Corolla Sport Coupe. She's 42 years old. There's a few really cool things about this car, so let's just go over it real quick. First of all, we're just gonna get straight to it. The hood's not even bolted on. It's got a 3SGE black top from a Toyota Altezza. Good little motor, runs good. This car needs love, but it's got love into it. So quick story about this car. I actually got it from my cousin. This is my cousin's car. So we worked out a little trade deal, you know, because I have 5 million cars. He needed something better, more of a daily driver. You know, this is kind of like more of a enthusiast track car. So we made a deal, we made it happen, and then now I have a Toyota Corolla. The car has been washed in a year. There's a problem with the transmission, so it actually doesn't drive right now, but it does run. It has some really cool goodies in it. The rear end's off of a Celica Supra. I don't know what year, mid 80s. The cool thing about this is it's got a beefier rear end. It's like a, if you ever heard of like a 4.9, this is like a Toyota 7 final drive. I don't really know what it is. There's a couple, 3.7, 4.1, 4.3. I think there's even a 3.9. I don't know. We got to figure out what that is. It's got super Advan wheels, 3-spoke wheels. I believe these are 16s. 205 45 16 tire. Looks like the wheels are squared all the way around. 4 lug. Interior is all stock, pretty much trash. It's got a J160 6-speed Altezza transmission in there. That's pretty cool. I think it has a short shifter on there. Got an oil pressure gauge, an AFR gauge, some weird steering wheel. Coming up here, it gets a little more interesting. It's got AE86 engine cross member, AE86 steering rack, AE86 steering column, AE86 front suspension. AE86 is called like a big daddy brake kit or something like that. It's like a 4 or 6 piston Willwood. Way overkill. It's like 2-piece floating rotor. This thing is insane. Insane. I don't even know why my cousin would want to even stop that fast. It's borderline dangerous. Let's go inside this puppy, see what's going on in here. The car also came with a couple of goodies. Super excited about this. This is annex suspension. It's for 86 Corolla. So it just about fits on a TE72, which is the chassis code of this sucker. The only thing is the top hats for the front coilovers are a different bolt pattern. So you can either get the top hats for a TE72, bolt them on there, or you can just drill some freaking holes in your strut tires and call it a day. Probably what I'm gonna do. What else we got? Little HAS baby turbo. I think this is pretty cool. I think it's out of Skyline or something. Seems like it's in pretty good shape. So yeah, it gave me that. It's got a panic wire harness. The only thing is this is kind of sketchy. But that's all good. Yeah, it's got a panic wiring harness. A link ECU. I don't know why he put a link ECU in there, but it's gonna be good when we tune it to make more power. Let's see what else we got. Shit, everything in here is factory. Here's the door card, center consoles over there. Is that a fucking golf club, bro? There's a golf club in here. Let me open this other door. Easier to get around. Seat forward. Holy shit, a pound of dust just came off that thing. Bunch of trash. Got floor mats, pretty cool. This bag literally just about falling apart. Oh, thanks for the alcohol, cousin. Truly, truly. Oh, a little bottle of water. Another Truly. Center console, she's not looking too good, but she's there. What do we got in here? A big ass Sharpie. Oh my god, this car is getting better and better. Freaking dollar. Shit, put all that back in there. This blanket I think is just to protect the rear seat, but the rear seat needs freaking Jesus. The fuck is this, a 9-iron? S, I don't know what S means. Yeah, fucking, we going golfing, boys. And then the fucking door panel, that thing's trashed. I don't know why he lays the seats down. What else we got over here, bro? This car is like a fucking gold mine. Oh, we got a satchel, little freaking satchel. What do we got in here? Mask, another mask, couple masks. Man, I'm gonna have to give him back all this shit. He just didn't even, he just was done with this car. Oh shit, is that a tachometer? Oh shit. That's fucking cool. And it has a fucking shift light on it. Dude, we gotta wire this baby up. I'm gonna go in and give it the good old once over. These seats are ugly as hell too. You gotta put some buckets in here. Cool thing about this is I read the seats from the TE86 fit in the TE72. Let's open the trunk. This thing has an alarm system on it too. It doesn't work too well, but it's on there. Looks like the hatch doesn't want to stay up. This poor door panel is getting pushed all around the car. So, let me put the stick here so I don't kill myself. Okay. So, this is for an TE86 digital dash. It looks like it probably modified to fit in the TE72 somehow. So, pretty cool about that. He replaced the clutch master and the brake master, I believe. So, that's good. Oh, a brand new Toyota filter for beams. I don't know what this is, but I'm actually kind of scared to touch it. I think it's a really old food. It's got a downpipe because he gave me a freaking turbo with it. Here is a turbo manifold. I think this is like a T2 flange. I'm gonna have to ask him about that. I think it's a T2 flange. Yeah, spare fucking bullshit. Look at this, some freaking JDM ass spark plugs. This says Techno Toy Tuning in it. Techno Toy Tuning is a big parts website for this car. So it looks like we have some bars. I don't know what they're for. It has like a bunch of old TE86 stuff that, you know, parts that are kind of hard to get. Old school brake hardware and stuff like that for stock brakes, which doesn't even have stock brakes on here, but well, that's pretty cool. I'll hold on to it. You never know, you might need it. Oh yeah, and then that turbo he gave me here. Here's the turbo for that turbo kit. He wants me to run this. He's like, bro, put it on. I'm like, I don't know, man. Cool thing about it though is it does have internal wastegate. So if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, you know the first thing I do when I get a car is freaking clean it, dude. Usually every time I get a car, I don't know why. Maybe it's just the type of cars that I'm drawn to or whatever. But every car I get is freaking dirty as hell. Look at this thing. She's dirty, man. She's real dirty. So I'm just gonna clean it, man. I don't know, just wash it or something. Oh, I did polish a tiny section though because I do love to see paint come back. So I'm trying to get the GoPro out of the shot. But if you see how bad all this looks, look, here's a small spot that I polished. I just put about, I don't know, 10 seconds into that. Imagine if the whole car looked like that. It'd be really nice. So this thing, yeah, it's pretty dirty. I actually have to bolt the hood on. I don't know why I took it off, but I have to bolt the hood on. And then, yeah, we're just gonna start cleaning it. So we'll start the time lapse or not start the time lapse. I don't know. I'm just gonna start cleaning this thing because I see the potential that it has. I mean, obviously it's freaking orange, it's hideous, but I see the potential that this paint has. This paint actually has the potential to look pretty good. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna steel wool the freaking windows, get all the gunk off them, and yeah, that's it. That's gonna be the beginning of this car's life in Casa de la Garza. So yeah, it's gonna be sick. Good morning, guys. It's another day. We're gonna be working on the Corolla now. We've been kind of cleaning it. We didn't get too much done, but it looks like the car's gonna clean up good. We kind of got some stuff out of the inside. We're gonna vacuum and stuff like that. But today we're probably just gonna pull the engine out because the transmission needs work. It needs to be like welded. So that's one reason why I can't drive it, because the slave cylinder is all wonky because one of the bolt mounts on the transmission on the casting is broken. So either I could just pull the transmission off, or this engine's so small and easy we could probably just pull it right off. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna it's about, I don't know, 8:30 in the morning. We're gonna start getting the engine ready to pull. That way by the time it's like 9 or 10, we could probably just pull it right out. Well, everything's a mess, but engine's out. Didn't drop it. That's a plus. Got the transmission. Brought it to my friend over. He works at Apex Integration. His name is Richard. His Instagram name is B-Side Fabrication. That damn guy could do anything with a TIG welder. So if there's anyone who could fix that transmission, it's for sure him. So I brought it to him. This thing needs a lot of love. It just looks like it's just been neglected. So while it's out, I'm gonna do a bunch of stuff to it. I'm just gonna clean up the aluminum because this stuff looks really pretty when it's clean. Clean up that, wipe down everything, probably paint the side of the block. Main thing we're gonna do is, I noticed when I had the engine up in the air, I had some coolant leaking. So basically on the back of the engine, this is all the coolant stuff, the coolant that comes out of the head, and this is the return line back to the water pump. So you have a few things here. This comes out of the head, it goes to your throttle body, and then this piece right here comes back from the throttle body. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and delete those. SQ Engineering, a company that makes a lot of parts for like beams, motors, and 3SGs, whatever. They make a lot of parts of these puppies. They sell this, it's called a slimline housing. So what you do is you just take this housing off. It's like 1, 2, 3 bolts. You take it off, and it allows you to clean things up. It definitely deletes this throttle body line. You don't need it. Plus, it sticks out, and I believe it was hitting the firewall. So if I put this engine back in, this is gonna be a big problem. You can tell it's been leaking before. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that slimline bracket. So we'll do that. We'll get rid of this. We might run a heater core eventually, but for now we're gonna bypass it. Just like previous owner did. This is just a bypass. Comes out of the head, and then it goes through a heater core, and then comes out of the heater core and goes back to the water pump. Just looped. So we're gonna get rid of that. That way we can clean everything up. All this stuff right here, all these freaking brackets and all that, we don't need that. We don't need this bracket over here, bracket over here. We don't need any of that. So we're gonna get rid of all that. But good thing is, previous owner put a brand new clutch on it. That's why he ended up messing up the transmission. He must have tightened the bolts too much and broke the housing on the actual transmission casing. So hopefully, yeah, I think Richard can fix that. So yeah, brand new Clutch Masters clutch. I don't know how good it is, but anything Clutch Masters should be okay. I'll probably check the torque on these puppies. I might just pull it off, check the torque on the flywheel just while we're here. We're gonna give this puppy some love. We're gonna paint it and all that. Here is the oil pressure sensor for the ECU, and then here is this goes to the oil pressure gauge. Now it's a hard line. What I want to do is put an electronic one here. That way we can just put a sensor and a wire, because this was leaking oil all inside of the car. I'll show you in a second, but we just have to clean a lot of this stuff up. Basically a lot of work with the wire wheel. I'll probably replace this lower radiator hose. As you can see, it's got an adapter on it, and it's cracking. So this engine, trust, needs a lot of work. As for the engine bay needs Jesus himself as well. This is the hole that all the wires are ran through. As you can see, it's jagged and all that, and it's kind of messing up the harness. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean that up, probably turn it into a circle, and then put a grommet in there, or something to at least protect the wires when I put them back in. I'm probably gonna pressure wash the engine bay. If it's not too hard, I'm gonna go sand everything back down. It used to be orange, and then under the orange was the brown, and then they painted black over everything. So we're gonna try to remedy that. As for the back of the car, I already had cleaned it up. What I had done was all the parts I took off the car, I kind of just put back here. Vacuumed the carpet, put a towel down, you know the deal. Cool thing is seats fold down. Let's go. And what else? So I started taking a lot of the stuff out of the interior too. There's just a bunch of trash in here. So I'm gonna keep taking all this out. As you can see, this is where the oil was leaking from the gauge. It looks like it just spewed everywhere. See the hard line? These things suck. I don't know why people would put these in here. It just got oil everywhere. So hopefully that was caught right away, because that's literally a loss of oil pressure. So I don't know, this car just needs a lot of love, but I'm the guy. I'm gonna make everything good. And yeah, oh yeah, we got some seat brackets too, because these seats are ugly as hell. So I found a guy on Facebook, real cool guy, AE86 guy. Good thing is AE86 brackets fit in this old girl, so we're gonna get a bucket in here, because I don't like this. I don't like it at all. So yeah, we're gonna clean everything up, and I'll save you guys the during. I'll show you guys the after. Guys, check this out. It's been about 15 minutes scrubbing this floor, and I know it's still, wow, it doesn't really look that good on camera, but I was mainly scrubbing like the middle, and right here there was a big like oil stain. It's pretty much going away. I gotta hit it again. I'm using this this Woolite triple action stuff. I think I need a little better scrubby, because this carpet's kind of old and kind of hard. But yeah, shit, it looks a lot freaking better compared to this side. This thing's old and clapped, but I'm gonna make it new and unclapped. Just spent the last hour sanding this car down, wet sanding. We got 2000 grit right here. I started with 3000, but it was just taking too long. 2000 is fine, you know, if you want to go for a buff job after, but 3000 will be a little bit better. But what I'm trying to do is get all the orange peel and all like the chalky stuff off the paint. I believe this is a single stage, because when I'm wet sanding, you could see the color of the paint mixing with the water. So as you can see the difference of the color, here's the chalky stuff. It's not as dull. It's looking a lot brighter, and we're looking for a smooth texture. You can see the scratches, but we're looking for smooth texture. Now let me see, I'm gonna look for signs of orange peel. That's what we're trying to get rid of. Orange peel is usually on like the bottom of the doors. Yeah, here we go. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's some orange peel right there. You can see that there's little divots of shininess, and then the rest is dull. We need to get rid of that. There's still some more right here too. So the reason why is because I started with a brand new sheet back here, and as soon as I got up here, the sheet started dulling out a little bit. So now I'm gonna get a new sheet, start from the front, and work my way down to the back, and just keep an eye on any areas you need to pay special attention to. So I'm gonna wet sand that one more time, and then we're just gonna start the polishing phase. There's just one thing really bothering me. This is engine bay. So you guys know, had the beams in there. I pulled the beams out. It was having a problem with the transmission. It is so hard to pull the transmission out, so we just pulled the whole engine out. And I didn't want to put it back in because this bay looks so bad. It was originally brown. It was painted black, terribly painted black. As you can see, the brown's still under there, and it wasn't scuffed up or nothing. It looks like it was just painted over. So the black is just chipping off everywhere. And then if you look at the shock towers, the fucking shock towers are orange. It's like, I don't know what they were doing when they did this. And of course, to get the beams in here, the previous owner had to massage the firewall. So as you can see, all the brown paint is gone. It's chipping off. It's looking really bad. It's all flaky. And I just couldn't put the engine back in knowing that. I just could not. So finally, I am taking the time and I'm gonna try to do it right. Now, I'm not gonna do it 100% right because I'm just not good at that. But I'm gonna try to do it pretty good. So I took everything out. I just slung all of the wires and stuff over the edges. I'm just gonna kind of get stuff out of the way, pressure wash it. I'm gonna try to pressure wash as much of this black paint off as I can. Hopefully the pressure washer will take me most of the way. After that, I'm gonna get after it with the sander, and then after that, we're gonna fucking primer it. Now, I'm eventually gonna do all the wiring and stuff like that. I'm gonna do it all over. And I don't mean like it's not good enough. It's just, everything was done one by one. So there's this random, like, look at this, dude. So this is the fuel pump relay. It's in the engine bay, and it just goes in this freaking, this plastic loom all the way under the car. And I think it's zip tied all the way to the fuel pump. Like, I don't know, like stuff like that, it just bothers me. You know, everything has its own relay. Here's the fan plug. The fans have their own relay. And all the relays were bolted right here up in the engine bay. Now, not necessarily a bad thing, but I mean, come on, dude. Like, no switch panel, nothing. So my thing is yeah, I'll probably leave the relays, but I'll put it on the key. You gotta flip all sorts of switches to get this car started. So yeah, first things first, we're gonna pressure wash this all up, try to clean it to the best of my ability, and then I'm trying to think of what to do with this whole brake situation. I think I'm just gonna pull the booster off and just let the master hang, and I'll tape it off because there's a few solutions. I think Chase Bays sells like a whole brake master cylinder booster delete, and they have their own little thing. And then there's a place called Techno Toy Tuning where they have an adapter to mount this straight to the firewall and just get rid of the booster. I don't need a brake booster. I don't. These brakes up here, they're like fucking 6 piston or 4 piston. I don't know, they're huge. They're huge. So a lot of talking, but we're trying. I want to get this car on the road really bad. Look at the engine. It's just been sitting here in the garage in a corner. It's actually starting to become a shelf. I pulled this out. I started polishing the intake manifold for some reason because it looked ugly to me. Here's the transmission right here. I took this to a friend of mine, B-Side Fabrication, because I believe I showed you guys that the bolts for the slave, they were blown out like big time. So every time you push in the clutch, the slave would just go whoop, and it wouldn't fully disengage the clutch. So this thing was undrivable. So yeah, I had to tow it home from the previous owner's house because it just couldn't drive. It ran and everything, it just couldn't drive. So shout out to B-Side, thank you for taking care of that. What he did was he put some weld on it to recreate the holes. Then he drilled it out and time serted it. So it's stronger now than it was before. So super thankful for him. So I appreciate you, Richard at B-Side Fabrication. That guy is an animal. Love that guy. So one of my favorite YouTubers, Taylor Ray, he always talks about jibber jabbering, and I do that a lot too. I'm not going to steal his word, I'm not jibber jabbering, but I do go off on crazy tangents talking about bullshit. And I feel like it just makes my videos really long and people don't watch them. So yeah, and here I am still doing it. Yeah, now it looks pretty much even worse. I thought this was gonna be a one-day thing. Man, it's gonna be like a 1 week thing. Yeah, the pressure washer wasn't really doing the job of getting the black off because it's like bed liner. So I was like, ah, shit, screw it. You know, I'll just try getting it off with the roll-lock disc and what's this called, a die grinder or something like that. So I started doing that, and it started working pretty well, but it was just eating everything around it too. So as soon as I get some black off, then the brown paint around it started coming off. I was like, ah, shit. All right, so I did that, burned through most of that, and I was like, maybe this isn't the best thing to do. So I take a wire wheel on a drill, and I started doing it, and the drill was getting good. It was doing everything. The only thing is, it kind of takes a long time. I already went through about 2 batteries, been at this for about an hour. You know, it just keeps escalating. So now I'm kind of stuck. I don't know what to do now, you know, because I bought about $100 of spray paint just to rattle can this bay as good as I can. Now, you know, I'm sure it'll look good, but you could just always do so much, you know? Like in this engine bay, it's a really simple engine. You know, all the wires and stuff, you really don't need a lot of stuff like bolted over here, bolted over there. Then I was thinking, well, maybe we shave the bay. I don't really know. So what I'm probably gonna do is just sit here for about an hour and just stare at the car and get nothing done, and then hopefully I'll come up with a plan. I just kind of taped off some stuff. We're going to give it a coat of primer, and I'm just gonna see how good of a job I did. Now, hopefully this primer lays thick. That way you won't see too many imperfections, because I kind of got impatient. I kind of left some of the bed liner there, but you know, in the important parts I kind of got it all. I was gonna end up shaving the bay, but I kind of realized that this car is old as hell and it ain't no show car, so leaving all those holes there, it's not the end of the world, but we'll see. Let's put some paint on it. First few coats done. It looks like I expected it to. You can see some spots where I got lazy, and you can definitely see it in the paint. But up here where I went to bare metal, it looks pretty good. It even covered up a lot of the sanding scratches. It's just that bed liner is so thick, man. Like, it's gonna be a nightmare to do the rest of this. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do it in thirds, because I've already been at this for like 3 hours. So we'll do a couple more coats and then we're gonna have to call it for today. Okay, so I just about ran out of primer last time, so I had to go get some more, and then it ended up being, I don't know, a couple weeks. Then I got the firewall all sanded down. I would say 90%. I'm happy with that. Went ahead and scuffed down the primer over here again. A few high spots, a few low spots get taken care of. I cleaned it with a mixture of, put the cap on, acetone, and where is it? Wax and grease remover. So this stuff is basically like fucking water. So I cleaned it with that first, and then I hit it with that. Gotta put one more piece of tape down. So here's the primer I used last time. As you can see, it's a little bit darker versus the new primer I got, but oh well. And then I'm just gonna spray it with like semi-gloss engine paint, because you know it's heat resistant. Might end up being some heat in there, turbo, you know what I mean? So we're gonna start with the primer, just about out of sunlight. So hopefully we could do the primer, the paint, and the clear. We probably have another hour until it gets dark, so I'm gonna start painting away, and I hope this ends up turning out pretty good. So no matter what, it's gonna look 100,000 times better than what it did before, because I don't know if you guys have tried to take truck bed liner off of metal. It is not easy. So we did it, we're all good, all of it's gone now. I'm kind of not too worried about the tension rod brackets and subframe and stuff like that. It might end up being painted eventually, but I'm not too sure. I'm just gonna try to stay away from it. Yeah, I need to get this car back together, or else it's just gonna sit forever. So we're gonna get painting. First coat of primer done. Took about, I don't know, 10 minutes. I just went ahead and sprayed the whole bay again. And as you can see, the firewall looking really good. I did a really good job on sanding. There's a few spots, and then you can see where the previous owner hit it with a hammer to get the beams in. That looks terrible, but luckily the engine will cover 90% of that. So I'm gonna crack open another bottle. We'll graze the whole bay again, and shit, we're gonna start spraying it with paint. I don't know really how long you're supposed to wait. I don't know if you're supposed to wait till it dries, supposed to wait till it gets tacky. Not really sure. All I know is we're running out of sunlight, and once I stop this project, I probably won't do it again for another month. So we're gonna get this done. Just grazing everything, and then we'll lay a nice couple nice thick coats. I can already see it starting to splatter a little bit. Stupid paint can. The primer laid on better than the damn paint. Maybe I didn't wait long enough. I don't really know, but we're gonna hammer this out. Well guys, as you can see, it's dark outside, so that's probably gonna wrap it up for today. Of course, we do everything last minute, and we should have waited until tomorrow, but I was fired up. I was painting away. I was like, you know what, screw it. This car has been sitting for a while, so we're gonna go ahead and try to get some stuff done on her. So the paint came out surprisingly good. Only thing is yeah, you can tell there's some orange peel. The clear didn't lay down perfect, but as you can see, there's some spots right here that look really good. So I think The clear just needs to dry. It's a little uneven. So I already started taking the tape off. So any tape that contacts like paint, you want to try to take it off while the paint's like still kind of wet. That way it comes off real easy. If you take it off while it's dry and the paint stuck to it, you might rip some paint off. So I laid the clear really thick on the top of the firewall where you're going to see it really good. I laid the clear really thick on the front and the side of the shock towers, and I laid the clear really thick right here. Back there I got as much as I could, but I think overall for like a backyard paint job it came out pretty good. There's some pretty gnarly runs right here, but I don't really care. We might try to sand those out depending on how it looks in the morning. Feel like this is a really long video, so we're gonna go ahead and end it off here. We made a lot of progress on the car. So far we paint corrected it. We pulled the engine out, we fixed the transmission, sanded and painted the engine bay. We got some new seats and brackets for it. We haven't put those in yet. Yeah, as you can see, the trunk still needs to be paint corrected, and the hood is over there behind the Lexus. Still need to paint correct that. And yeah, RIP the Lexus. She's looking real sad right now. But things are going pretty solid so far. Now we just gotta worry about getting the car back together and seeing what it needs. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. This is Andrew Garza, Slightly Modified. I'm out.